Hey, what's up? This is Tim Allwell, and inside of this video, I'm going to share with you my 4 biggest takeaways that I had with my coaching call with Mark Hoverson, who's an 8-figure earner. So just to put this into context, this past week, Mark came out with a new book on Amazon called The $1,000,000 Day, and it's about how to wipe out procrastination, years of procrastination, in just a 24-hour period. And I actually did the $1,000,000 Day, and I wiped out 19 years and 11 months of procrastination in just 3 days, and it projected me, kind of catapulted me into a lot of productivity and momentum. And I ended up having one of my best months online to date, generating over $6,000 in personal commissions. As a bonus, or being a buyer of that book, I won a 30-minute coaching call with Mark Hoverson. And here are the 4 takeaways from that call. So number 1, he told me that only when your job is costing you money should you leave it. So like I said, I just generated $10,000 in revenue. $6,000 of that was personal commissions to me. And just to put that in perspective, I have to work full time for 2 months at my 9-to-5 job to make the same amount of money. So I said, Mark, I was kind of curious, like, when is it time to really make that leap of faith and make that jump to leave my 9-to-5 job and go full time online? Because in the past, I have made the mistake of leaving my job on a whim. And all it did was lead to a lot of stress, financial stress, worry, doubt, fear, anxiety. I didn't want to go through that again. I wanted to be confident with the decision. And he gave me the advice and said, Tim, you're into momentum. You just made 2 sales. You've doubled your income in your job. Within 48 hours, you made 2 months of income. But make a few more sales just to prove to yourself that you didn't get lucky, and then go ahead and do it. He said, because I told him, hey, I'm spending 8 hours every day at my job, and it's taking away from the creativity and the content creation and be able to put all my juice into my internet business. It's taken away from that. And he told me, yeah, it's a feeling. It's not just a feeling anymore, but it's a fact for you, Tim, that your job is literally costing you money. But make 1 or 2 sales just to prove to yourself that it wasn't just a lucky thing, and then go ahead and you can take that jump. So that was reassuring. Now I'm just really fired up and motivated to make those few more sales so I can go full-time online. But I just didn't want to make the mistake of going too early and it leading to a bunch of stress. So maybe that can help you. I thought it was great. Point number 2 is he who goes in search of rebuke and correction and receives it with eagerness will be quickly promoted and established in a permanent fashion. So I've been reading a lot of leadership Bible and Book of Proverbs recently, and one of my favorite courses by Mark is called Solomon's CEO, and it's where he dissects the Book of Proverbs, which were written by King Solomon, the wealthiest man to have ever have lived. And he takes these little scriptures and he breaks them down. And one of the scriptures was very similar to this. This was kind of reworded, but he says, he who goes in search of rebuke and correction, meaning the person who goes out and seeks rebuke from other people. This was Mark in my case. I saw Mark as a mentor. He's an 8-figure earner. He's very wealthy. He has a great family life, well-balanced life, and I wanted to be more like that. So I said, hey, Mark, based on what you know about me, based on the time and the interactions that we've spent together, where am I missing? What am I missing to kind of take it to the next level? And this could totally apply for you if you see someone who's maybe more in shape, has better energy, has a better relationship with their kids, with their spouse, has a more fun and fulfilling life. You can go to those people and say, hey, based on what you know about me, like, where am I off? Because I want to have a better relationship with my family and my kids. And I want to lose some weight and feel more energized. I want to make more money online. I want to be more respected in my business. You can go to these people and ask them to rebuke you. And Mark said, hey, Tim, it's a great question. I don't have a deep rebuke for you because we haven't worked together enough, but here are some of my thoughts that you can take and use them however you want. But basically, just to put some context into this, I'm 27 years old and I'm single. So I like going out and socializing, meeting people, dating. I've studied human psychology, female psychology, and attraction. It's very interesting to me, and I just like going out there and being social. We're social creatures. We like to interact, and I have a lot of fun going out and meeting people at social events, bars, wherever. But he said, Tim, you get all pumped up to go out and date and meet women and go to social events, and you're very charismatic in those circumstances, in those environments. You're loose, you're whimsical, you're having fun. If you brought that same intensity and desire that you studied with, and if you took that same intensity and desire and eagerness to your internet business, it'd be game over. That's what he told me. So he said, I get it. You're 27. It's totally okay what you're doing. You're dating, you're socializing. Just take that intensity and bring it over to your internet business and give yourself permission to be who you are. Because he's noticed from the time that we spent together, I can be very social, outgoing, and fun and loose in a social event like that. But then put me in a different environment, maybe where I'm hanging out with Mark. I feel a little bit intimidated by Mark because he's so successful, and I shut down a little bit. I become a little bit more reclusive, a little bit more quiet. I don't have the same openness and looseness and whimsicalness that I have when I'm out socializing. And he says I kind of turn that off. So there's this like line here where I go from one environment to the other, I kind of have a little different personality, and that's totally okay. But just work on bridging that gap a little bit, kind of find out where that block is, where that break is. Could be a mental thing, a mindset thing, but just give yourself permission to be who you are, wherever you are. He said you're kind of in an experimental phase right now. You're 27. You're trying to figure things out. You're trying a bunch of different new things, and that's cool. That's awesome, actually. And he said you don't really know who you are until you're 35. So just keep going. Just bring that same intensity into, I work out a lot. I like going out. Bring that same intensity into your internet business, and you're going to see amazing things happen. So I thought that was really great advice that he gave me. So I guess a takeaway from that is go out there and find people who you want to be more like. Ask them to rebuke you and say, hey, you know me. What do you see that I'm doing wrong? How can I be more like what you have or what you do? It's a really great, powerful exercise. Point number 3 is I've been studying the book of Proverbs and faith and religion, trying to open myself up more to faith. I've kind of closed that part off of my life recently, and I just feel like I want to open up more and just be a little bit more letting go of control and just believing in faith and having just knowing things will work out, having that kind of belief. And he said, hey, I've been reading like the Maxwell Leadership Bible, which is a really awesome book. I totally recommend it. It contains the Solomon Book of Proverbs, which is what Solomon CEO, Mark's course is all about. And also contains, the Bible as well. But it has insights from the author on breaking down certain scriptures and bullet points and Proverbs and expanding upon that. And so I think it's awesome. So he said, hey, things like the Leadership Bible and studying the book of Proverbs, that's fuel and nutrition that activates faith. The scriptures help optimize that faith. And keep reading that stuff. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And one of my questions was, in the Proverbs and in the scriptures, it talks about fearing God. And I said, Mark, what does that mean? They're saying you won't break through and you won't go to the next level and really evolve until you learn to fear God. And Mark said, hey, Tim, that's a great question. I actually had the same question. Here's what that means. So fearing God doesn't mean like, oh, I got to fear God, like I'm scared of him. No, it's more like he used the analogy handling a diamond with fear. So you're cultivating a diamond, you're cutting it, and you have to be really careful. Otherwise, if you cut it wrong, you lose the value of the diamond, or it just, you mess it up. And it's having that kind of sacredness of cutting that diamond. That's kind of what you mean with, fearing, like just revering the sacred nature of God is what his words meant. And it made a lot more sense. I thought that was awesome. So takeaway, if you're looking to get more into faith and open up, I think Maxwell Leadership Bible is a great book. I recommend it. It's awesome. But that was really important to me because I feel like in my life right now, I'm trying to open up more to spirituality and faith, and he gave me some great insights on that. Point number 4 was new buyers have to take 3 steps for you to take 1 step. So I just brought in a few new buyers, and my question to Mark was, okay, I have these new buyers. They're excited to get started. They're excited to get their internet marketing going and start posting value and driving leads into their funnel and getting sales. What do I need to do as a leader and a coach to help them succeed? And Mark told me this. He said, Tim, that's a great question. Here's how I would approach this. You have to protect your time. So the best way to help people is to assess and diagnose and analyze their work. So from my point of view, I have to come in as an optimizer of their work and not a motivator to get them to work. So it's not my job to pump my new buyers up and say, hey, let's go, let's do it. It's not my job to motivate them. That motivation needs to come internally from my buyers. But what I can do is once they take action, and the example that Mark gave me, have them spend $50 in Facebook ads. And once they do that, they've taken action, they've actually have some skin in the game, then you can critique their ad. Maybe hop on a webinar, hop on a Google Hangout and actually pull up their ad, critique it, critique their capture page, see what their open rates are, and give them advice on how to improve all those metrics. And that's how you protect your time. He said you can't take 3 steps for every 1 step they take, because the math won't work out. As soon as you start bringing in all these buyers, you're going to hate your life because you're trying to motivate everybody. You have to get them, they have to take the action first and get rewarded with your time. I thought that was awesome. That was an amazing way to look at things. And it really shifted my perspective, because in the past, I've always been trying to get people to get motivated to work. And that's really not what I'm supposed to do. They're supposed to be motivated by their own dreams. I'm supposed to help optimize and analyze their work so that they can take their results to the next level. So that was the 4 takeaways that I had with Mark. I'm super grateful for the opportunity to be able to hop on the phone with an 8-figure earner like that and kind of have some of my personal life and business life dissected and getting some feedback that I'm going to implement right away. And if you got any value from this, I would just love to hear. Maybe reach out to me via email or Facebook message. Just send me a comment saying what your biggest takeaway is and how you plan on using it and applying it in your life or business. I hope you got a lot of value for this. And if you do, make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you don't miss out these future videos that I'm creating. So really appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Tim Allwell. See you later.